Today we're gonna code lots with Mr. Kim Phil Potts, and oh, how amazing you'll
be. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be. Welcome back to the stream. Dragon, just finishing up a fight on Dauntless. Fantastic. So good luck with that. And Lucas DT, I see you threw a follow as well. So thank you for that. Appreciate it. All right. So the first question for today, kind of relevant to me, I think. On a scale of 1 to 10, or actually 1 to Einstein, how crazy is your COVID hair getting? So me, I'm somewhere probably around Kramer, I reckon. Getting a bit crazy, time for a haircut. But what we're going to talk about today is we're going to go ahead and we're going to keep working on this pizza UI. So it's Friday, so that means it's UI Friday. All right, so let me duck over here and let's have a look at this UI in a little bit more detail, and we'll work out what we'll do today. We'll see if we can get some more of this done. All right, so here's the UI that we're trying to replicate. So it's a pizza UI. It's a UI that is done by Bidyat Kumar Bira over on Dribbble. Let me post that into the chat window. And we worked on this last week. So it's in the GitHub repository over there, github.com/kphilpotts/pizza. All right. And we got a few things done. So let's just recap what we did last stream and see where we're up to. All right. I'll get this out of the way. I might just plonk it up there, I think. All right. So here's our code that we have. All right, but let's have a look at the actual solution itself running. All right, cool. So what did we get done last time? Well, we did a little bit of pizza animation. So here's the main screen. We can tap on our pizza and it navigates through a few different states. So we've got our small pizzas. We tap on it, we go to medium, tap on it again, we go to large. So we go to large pizzas there as well. Beautiful. Okay. And also what we have is when we have a pizza, we can add it to the cart and we do this cool little animation down in the cart button where we basically go and chomp up the pizza. That's kind of nice, and that works from all of our various states as well. Beautiful. All right, so that's our pizza. Okay, let's have a quick look at the code that we have for this. So basically, what we're using is Xamarin.Forms, of course. We have an absolute layout because we want to have a lot of control over basically the position of the pizza. Then we've got a picture or an image of our pizza. We've got a tap gesture recognizer on it. Pizza, exactly, Dragon, pizza. Everyone loves pizza. We've got a label. We've got our flying pizza. So that's the one that flies down from the side when we select that. We're going to add to cart button down the bottom as well. Beautiful. All right. And then what we have in our code behind is we're basically got our animation state machine over here. And when we first work out how big the pizza is, we do some calculations, we work out how big things should be, and then into our animation state engine, we go and enter in some transitions. So when it's at a start, a pizza is at a certain location, it's got a rotation of 0, an opacity of 0 as well. Okay, and then we basically got another state for when the pizza enters. We've got a state when it's a small pizza. So this is kind of like a nice, easy way of controlling your animations. And then what we can do is actually the code to swap those states at the moment is just on this pizza tapped. So we're just saying, let's look at the state that we're in. Okay. And then we're just going to another state, which then basically goes and runs those view transitions in there. All right. And what's this one? This is the code for when we go and we chomp a pizza. So in other words, when we've got this up and we click add to cart, okay, this is the bit of code that goes and gets our flying pizza, flies it down to where the button is, and then basically opens up the button and then closes it back up. Beautiful. All right. So that's our code. All right. So what do we want to do today? Well, I guess we want to start fleshing this UI out a little bit more. So let's have a look at what we need to do. So first thing is we've actually got a couple of states here. We've got a state, which we're about to go to in a moment. Okay, where we've got some text, we've got some ingredients, we've got a price, and then we've got a bit of information. Now, when we click that button, we actually translate to this state here, which is where we can go and set our quantities. The other cool thing here as well is when we select one of these, it actually goes and does this cool little rotation, okay, of the labels. So that's some of the things that we want to achieve today. So I suppose, let me bring up a little to-do list. Let's write some to-dos. Okay, first thing, let's get the header and well, let's bring in some fonts first of all. Hello, PT Dave. How you doing? Pizza. I think it's a universal response to pizza. Yeah, I'm good. I'm doing good, Dave. Thanks for asking. It's been a bit of a tough week actually, but it's nice to be back. Nice to be writing some code. Hello. So you're laughing at my my headings here. Yeah, I'm really bad at organizing files, Dragon. And hi, Kafu. Welcome. I'm probably saying that totally wrong, but hello. So I'm not sure if you saw my question I asked earlier on. Let me plonk it up here. On a scale of 1 to Einstein, how crazy is your COVID hair getting? So I'm as I mentioned, I'm somewhere around Kramer. It's getting pretty messy. All right, let's add the text elements and fonts. Let's start there. All right, let's do the navigation between the two main states. Let's do that cool. What would you call that? It's almost like a carousel label. Hi, Tarasag. Welcome. Look. All right, let's just start off with that. Let's see how we go. All right, so we want to add in some text elements. We want to add in some fonts as well. Okay, who remembers how to do fonts? Tarasag, your hair's gone nuts. Your nails are also out of control. You know you can cut your nails by yourself. Embedded fonts. Yeah, let's have a look. Xamarin. Oh, actually, just while we're at it, did anyone see the cool video from David Ortonau and James Montemagno about Xamarin.Forms 4.6 and all the cool things that are coming in that? I'm super excited for that one. All right, embedded fonts, Xamarin.Forms. Yeah, so you didn't watch the video. Let me just quickly find it for you. Wait on. I think it was on the Xamarin show. Yeah, the expander control looks awesome. Things to love in Xamarin.Forms 4.6.
Having you on as there's a
So this here is definitely worth a watch. So David, as always, does a really awesome job of demoing all the stuff. So there's what are they covering here? They cover the expander. And does he say in here? Doesn't say in the link here, but there's the expander control. There's a lot of shell improvements as well, which is really cool to do with styling of the shell, which is really nice. So yeah, basically just really, really cool stuff. Definitely worth a look at. All right, let's have a look at embedded fonts because I can never remember how this works. So let's go and put this in our master solution, put in our fonts. Looking at the font, it's probably just like Open Sans, I reckon. So let's do that. Let's come to our Solution Explorer. Let's use the, let's just put in resources. Let's put in another folder called fonts. And let's go and add in some fonts. Now, I normally have a OneDrive location here. What do we want? We probably want like a regular, perhaps a semi-bold. And let's make sure the build action for those puppies is embedded resource. So Dragon, I tried making a shell app last night from the built-in templates. It didn't have a menu icon for some reason, and I couldn't make the flat work with Dragon from the left of the screen, but still the menu icon refused to show up. So I scrapped using Shell for the app. It's the first time trying Shell. Not a good experience. I don't use Shell, or I haven't used Shell a lot. I think Lachlan's probably used Shell quite a bit. But when we get around to the Xamarin.Forms, sorry, not the Xamarin.Forms, the weekly Xamarin app, I'm planning on using Shell for it. In fact, I plan on just going with Xamarin.Forms 4.6 and just seeing what we can, basically just see how well it all works. Okay, so we got our resources. Now we need to add in an assembly attribute. And again, I don't really have any standards on this. So I'm just going to throw it up here. I think it has to appear outside of the namespace. And let's have a look at what that's called. I kind of, I don't know. I kind of like doing things the old school way. Okay, so let's put in a couple of fonts. So regular and semi-bold. Let's also turn off my phone noise. Let's give this an alias. Okay, let's not call it my awesome custom font. Let's just call this regular. something like that. All right. And I think we need to also throw in the experimental, right? Do we? Is it still experimental? I thought it was. All right, let's just try this. Let's run our application. Check we have some fonts going first of all. Hi, Onyx. Welcome. Wowzers, what happened there? There we go. I think that's right. Beautiful. All right. Yeah, I've got one that uses embedded fonts in one of the other ones, the travel app. Yeah. All right. Let's have a look at our output. Did I? It's really hard writing Xamarin.Forms only once a week. I think that's right. Okay. Now, basically what we want is we want some text elements when we're in this state here. Let's just throw a label in here. And I'll just put in pizza margherita. And let's put this as semi-bold. Let's just give it a font size of 30 to start off with. Let's just see where that goes. Okay, let's put in text color. That's interesting. Why is that doing a weird thing with this up here? All right, it could be. Let's have a look. Let's fix that first of all so we can do a hot reload. Okay, so interestingly, we set up the animations here. Dragon says write it 2 times a week. I should write Xamarin.Forms more. Absolutely. So I go to my starting state. Hi, Naked Slavin. Now I'm just wondering, maybe the problem is, let's just try this. Let's go in our on appearing. And let's do this. Like if we have a storyboard, what do we call our storyboard? Tell you what's really hard as well is just coming back in and having a look at a project after you haven't looked at it for a week. So if our animation state's not equal to null, then on appearing, let's go to let's go to the state of like states dot start. What's our states called? State dot start. And when it first appears, it appears and then it animates down. So let's just say, let's not do that with animation. And then let's say, go to the state of entrance, but with an animation. Let's see if that fixes our issue. Hey, Rod. All right, cool. So now, interestingly, we've lost the click on my pizza. Why is that? No worries. Hop to Dick. I will upload my videos. I promise. You can trust me. So let's have a look. Let's see what the reason for that is. I'm going to guess. Yeah, that's my guess, right? Is actually the label is occupying the full part of the screen, right? And so therefore the click event wasn't working on the pizza, right? So there's a couple of ways we can solve this. One is we could say its vertical options are like start, for example, so that it's not occupying the entire space. So that would be one option. The other option that we have is we could say input transparent is true, which means a click on it won't detect anything. Doesn't change the fact that our pizza is going into this weird place though. Good night. Hop to Dick. 4 a.m. What are you doing up at 4 a.m.? But yeah, I'll upload them. Okay, cool. So now we've got our pizzas flying around again. Beautiful. And that's all working. Great. Now, here's the question. The question is, why when I do a hot reload, hi, Simorph. Welcome. Why when I do a hot reload, is it going there? That's an interesting question. I wonder what bits of code it's calling. Let's have a look at, when I do a hot reload, oh, it just killed itself. If I put myself a breakpoint on this line, let's have a look. And I go into a hot reload here. Animation state is not equal to null. So therefore, we should be, if I'm not mistaken, coming through here and we should be going to the start animation. Okay, and then we're setting our layout bounds for our image to be this rectangle here. So that looks about right. All right. Anyone got any thoughts on why that's happening? I wonder if it's this actually. Let's just try this. We already have an animation state. Let's just return out of here. Let's try that. Nope. I have no idea why that's happening. All right, maybe we don't have hot reload for the moment. Tarsig says, how am I getting this crazy not equal sign? Yeah, so it's a good question. Yeah, I'm just playing around with this thing called featured chat. So there's the question. How are we getting that crazy not equal symbol? Or it's basically the font I'm using. So the font I'm using has these glyphs set up. So you'll see that when I say if A is not equal, it changes it. Okay, so it's basically just a font. Let me have a look actually at what font. Hey Rob. Rob says I'm using Fira code. It's probably about right. Let's have a look. What am I using? Yeah, so I'm using Fira code. And so it just basically does that for you. So it does a few cool things. All right. All right, so I've got no idea, quite frankly. Why, when we load it up here, we get that cool. It's all good. But when I do a hot reload, it's not setting the layout state. Oh, the joys of code. All right. Let's not worry about it too much, hey? Although it's going to make it... Or does anyone got any ideas? So we're basically saying if our size is changed... Once we set these up, we go to our start and we go to our entrance. Let's see what order these happen in. Yeah, just ignore it and do a rebuild. Sure. Mostly I find it works pretty well. In this case here, though, it's not setting the layout bounds nicely. Is on appearing cold? Is on appearing cold on a hot restart? Anyone know? Let's find out. It should be. Well, let's find out. We've got a breakpoint on appearing. We come here, we do a change. Yeah, it's called on appearing. So we're basically doing a size changed. Now, interestingly, I wonder... These sizes annoy me. All right, let's not worry about this too much. Although it does annoy me. All right, let's just lay this puppy out anyway. All right. All right, let's put this here. Okay, so first things first, we probably don't want that to be in semi-bold. It doesn't look, that looks like regular font. Okay, cool. Now, where do we want this to be? So if we have a look at our design here, when we're in our normal state or our entrance state, this pizza margarita appears down the bottom like this. And then we've got some text and we've got our Lorem Ipsum stuff there. So let's add that in. And I think we can probably just do that with a stack layout. Let's try this. So say stack layout. All right. Let's go and put this at the end. Okay, beautiful. Down the end there. What does it have underneath that? It basically has horizontal stack layout. And in that horizontal, it has a couple of recipes. So probably, let's have a look. Let's say label text equals set our text color to white. Okay, let's make this a little chiclet. Does a label have a corner radius? I don't think it does. All right, so what should we use to make this? Should we use, we could use a frame with a label inside. We could make them buttons, probably, or we could, let's do this. Let's try a frame. And we'll set its padding to 0. We'll set its background color for the moment to be gray. All right, let's give this a little bit of margin. So we're running out of space here. All right, let's give this an explicit height request. We'll make it 20. Let's see if that works for us. We'll set its corner radius to 10. We'll set its shadow to false because nobody likes shadows on frames because they're ridiculous. All right, and we end up with, yeah, basically a little pill here. Okay, beautiful. So that might work for us. Except the text, if we go and have a look at it, let's have a quick squizzy at this. Okay, so we've got 3 of them, tomato, basil, and cheese. So why don't we create some styles here? Lachlan says the material shadow is all right. Yeah, much better than the default one. I don't use material a lot either. I should probably do that. Yeah, the default is way too crazy. You know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for Stephen to add shadows into Pancake View, because that'll be awesome. Okay, let's have a look here. Move thickness. All right, let's create ourselves a resource up here. Let's target a frame. Let's get this out of the way for a second. It does shadows, but it doesn't do shadows well enough. You need to be able to have a bit more control over the shadows, I think. That's just me. Okay, let's get some of these values here. Just set a few of these values here. Yeah, Lachlan says, given everything else in Pancake View is super configurable, shadow deserves more than just one bool. Yeah, the problem is, I think, is that shadows are really, really difficult. They're very platform specific. So background color. Make that gray. In fact, let's not do that. Let's go create ourselves a color. Which for the moment is just going to be gray. Corner radius of 10. Let's give it a shadow of false and a height request of 20. Beautiful. All right. So there we are. We have our pill frame. Oh, actually, I wonder whether I get this idea, actually. Maybe move thickness to Xamarin. I don't know why it's just saying thickness. Oh, well. So let's set this style to static resource fill frame. Beautiful. All right. And we may as well create one for our label as well while we're here. Where did my music go? Naked Slavin says it should be possible. Yeah, let's use our good old friend featured chat. Naked Slavin says it should be possible to add a custom renderer or a simple effect for that. I suppose some kind of elevation for Android and some CA layer property in iOS. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think you can do that. The problem is making them look consistent, I think, because the way they do shadows is a little bit different on the different platforms. But effectively, yeah, that's what it is. Whenever I've done shadows before, I've used Skier Sharp just because it provides that consistency. But I think you're spot on. I think that's exactly right. What are we doing? Okay, let's set that to white. Let's go and have a look down here. Give it a margin. Beautiful. All right. So now we should be able to use those. And get rid of that, and get rid of that, and things are better. Beautiful. I always wonder, here, give us your opinions on this. When you've got something like this, right? Like where you've got like a tiny little control here, and perhaps you're going to use it in a few places. Would you put that into a user control? Or would you do what I'm about to do and copy paste?
Shame. Shame. Shame.
You reuse wherever possible. Hi, freelancing. How you doing? I didn't see you enter before. Yeah, hi, welcome. Yeah, you'd put it into a control. But see, then you've got to for something like this, you then got to expose a bindable property for the text and things like that. So, Naked Slevin, definitely copy paste. All right, let's have a look and see what we got there. Okay, tomato basil cheese, beautiful. Let's add some margin to this. Let's bring it in a little bit. Beautiful. So let's have a look. So if I was to do this, so Lachlan says, without mfractor, I copy paste, like I'm doing. With mfractor, I make components because it does all the work for you, including adding bindable properties. I'm not sure it does on Windows. I've got mfractor installed. Ooh. Let's see what this does. Doesn't look like it's doing the bindable properties for me. Should we just do it for fun? Let's do it for fun. Yeah, see, it's basically gone and created a frame for me. It's given me a label. Do it. When you want it to add a property, just add it in XAML as if it exists. All right. Let's try this out. Let's try this out. Let's get rid of. Let's come back here. Let's undo that. And let's undo this as well. Let's test it out. Let's see if mfractor is going to do it. So in this case, text, I suppose, is... So you're saying, Lachlan, if I was to have something like pill text equals tomato. Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying actually when in the XAML of your page, yeah, see, like let's say if I do this, extract into a XAML control. Maybe this is, yeah, then go back to the page. Oh, I see what you're saying. So now we say text equals, oops. Yeah. Like that. Generate a bindable property called text into pill label. Whoop. Beautiful. All right. And then I suppose we get rid of this. I have to give this a name, I'm assuming. Let's see if this works. So they call that pill text. We'll get rid of its value there, perhaps. Everything's called pill text. And then we could say pill text.text equals value. How's that? That look about right, Lachlan? Booyah. Let's see if it works. I don't use mfractor because I oops. Wow. Static resource key not found. So that's going to be because this uses a style pill frame here. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and stick this in my app XAML because it's going to be used in lots of places. I suppose I could expose a style property. I could do that. Let's see if this works. God. Clippy's trying to help me out. Let's see if this works. So we've now got a couple of styles, hopefully. Label style property of type object. Let's see if this happens. You think that'll work? Yeah, I could just change the object to style. That's a good point. Is that going to work? It'll probably work. Let's have a look at our good old bindable properties. Type of. Anyone think this is going to work? This is fun anyway. What the hell? Label style, create name of label style, type of style. Cast on line 18. Well, we're not Lachlan, so totally I could just put the style in my AppXaml and that would work. Yes. But I want to see if this works. So this is what I don't understand. If a property changed, calls that and that. So it has to be an object, I think. I don't think it's going to work with that. I think we have to have that as an object. Yeah, I just want to try it out. So I wonder if that's got to be. Let's see if this works. Of course, I got to do the same thing for the frame style. Looks right. Yeah, it seems to make sense. So let's just do it. Because I never write reusable components because I'm a horrible human. So if we said that and we said, let's get that as a returner style. This might all go to shit, of course. Handle exception. Should this be a style? Let's see if that works. So theoretically now, in my pill label, I get rid of the styles off of here. Let's see if it works. All right. So the good news is it ran, right? So that's good. What would happen if we came into our page then and changed the style? I think it would, oh, 500. That's a bit big, but it works. Okay, cool. So what we have then is, there we are. We created a pull control. Which allows you to set styles. It actually hasn't saved much code at all, but at least theoretically, it's reusable. Actually, and then too much technical debt for your liking, MJ freelancing. All right, so now what I do is instead of copying and pasting these 3 lines, I'll copy and paste these 4 lines. Hilarious. But it was a fun exercise anyway. But yeah, if I was reusing this in lots of places, it would make a lot more sense. And put them in a package for other projects. Yeah, cool. All right. Let me have a look at our design here. What else have we got going on? We got a price and we've got a Lorem Ipsum. Now, of course, what I should really be doing is just in terms of saving this code here, probably in a real application, there'd be a view model with an ingredients list. And then I would basically just use myself a repeater here. So I wouldn't actually have to have these 3 times. And we may do that later on. Okay, let's add a label with some text equals, and then we'll just put a price in. Where's my friend here? Let's have a look at what it's got. Let's just create a style for this.
Today we're gonna code lots.
Hey, thanks for the follow.
And oh, how amazing you'll be.
Thank you so much. Alto Viraken. God, I'm so terrible at pronouncing those. All right. It doesn't matter. Let's get our text color. So probably the text color that we're after for this one is probably that one there, button color. So that's the interesting thing, right? So do I create another color here? Or probably what I think I should do is this. I should probably change this to accent color. And then I should go and find button color and change that to accent color. That's a lot of work to add a few buttons here. All right, so get our price text color. Let's change that to accent color. Beautiful. Let's give this a bit of a margin. In fact, I think these all want to space out a little bit, so maybe I'll just add the spacing into the stack layout. There we go, that spaces them out a little bit more. Cool. And finally, let's add some Lorem Ipsum. Should we instead do Hipster Ipsum? It's one of my favorite Ipsums. Actually, I could probably do it this way as well. We could say text equals blah, blah, blah. Oops, let's set our text color here. All right, let's see if our refactoring, no. Does mfactor only work when I'm not in run mode? What I was hoping for is it would actually just create the style for me. Oh well, it's not going to. All right, let's have a look at what we got. All right. It's kind of looking about, actually the text is white. I'm just going to wait for this to come back up. Yep, text is white, but apart from that, it's pretty much right. Okay. So we'll go and adjust our style then. Oops, that was wrong. There we go. All right, fantastic. Beautiful. So now we have that. So the trick here now is we need it so that we want, when we come in here and we have our default view, when we add to cart and it goes to small, medium, large. So there's kind of like a state, which is the overview page. In fact, it's just going to be So we'll give that a name, and then we'll set its states in here. So let's give this a name. And we'll say in our start, pizza description is visible. So we'll say animation type dot opacity equals, is a value of 0. And the other, okay, so let's just do that first of all. So pizza description has an opacity of 0. It's the same in the entrance. But when we are in small, medium, and large, sorry, it's the other way around. In small, medium, large, it has an opacity of 0. In the first two states, it has an opacity of 1. All right, let's test that out first of all. So cool. We have it there. Beautiful. When I move into small, this should disappear. Great. And then when we go back to large, it should reappear. Beautiful. Nice. The other thing it does is it actually does some animations out as well. So not only does it just disappear, I'm just having a look here, it actually goes down and its opacity changes. Beautiful. So let's do that. So we'll say in a starting state, the pizza description has an opacity of this, and it has a translation Y of 0. And that might be all we need there, because it's going to just, yeah, it should be all right. And that has a translation Y of 0. Now here, it's going to have a translation Y of some value. Let's throw in 300 for a moment, because it's going to fade out anyway. All right. Let's see if it fades out and disappears. There we are. Beautiful. Okay. That's nice. Now, what else does it do? It must do something else. It always does something else. Let's have a look at it. Let's see what next bit to do. So obviously that quantity is going to have to appear. But I think the other challenge here is pizza margarita here. It actually flies up to the top. The ruler for the size. Yeah, the ruler for the size. I can only imagine that's going to be a skier sharp, actually. But I want to just get the basics going here of the various pages first. I mean, this is all pretty boring work. So, given that pizza margarita flies up to the top, I think we're going to have that outside. Outside of here. Pizza margarita. Which is going to be interesting because how am I going to position it? So let's have a look at ways we could do that. So one way I could do it here is I could do this. I could have, instead of this page just being a big old, at the moment, this page is pretty much a grid with 2 rows on it like that, right? That's what it looks like at the moment. Maybe I could, if I made this a grid with, oops, that's the wrong thing. If I made this a grid with 3 rows, and then this content sits in here, and the label is actually at the bottom of the first grid. And then what I could do is I could translate it up. Or alternatively, I just set its layout. Maybe I'll do that. I just set its layout to be relative to the top of this and then position it. Decisions. Let's try just positioning the label first of all. All right. So theoretically what we could do is we could say, let's go and get our pizza description dot bounds dot top minus we've given that a name yet. Let's give it a name. And we'll move it out. We'll put it up here. Minus the pizza title dot bounds dot height. Plus a margin. So what would happen if we then did this? We said, let's give this a rect. So make it a 20. Header pos. The width, which we should have something like width. And the height. I don't know. Is it going to have a height yet? I don't know if it's going to have a height. Let's find out.
Today we're gonna code lots.
Hey, Fokama, 1, 2, 3. Thanks for the follow. Welcome. We're playing around with pizzas, or actually right now we're playing around with animations. So welcome. So do I do that? So there's a couple of options here, right? I could either do that, or I could just adjust the translation Y. That would be another option. Let's go with this. Let's see what ends up here. So under these two, it would have those values there. Beautiful. I'm going to header rect. And here, actually, this isn't pizza description. Why isn't anyone checking my work? It's the pizza title. Let's put this at 2020 width. Pizza title bounds.height. No idea if this is going to work. So when it's on small, it goes to the top. Will this work? That is the question. Wow, that didn't work at all. Actually, it did work, kind of. So, MJ Freelancing sounds like me the other night doing a peer review of a major code refactor I had completed. I had 4 other devs on the call and I was the only one finding the errors. Good call. All right. That's kind of right. Maybe not kind of right. Why does it go to the wrong place when it goes there? Is that because... Header expanded rect. (2020). The width and the height. Pizza title goes to the header rect. Yes. I wonder if I need to give this a layout flags because it's a child of the layout, absolute layout, maybe. Why does it do that? All right, let's see if we can work this out. Text position is always 20. 20, 20. Beautiful. We give it the header rect. Same here, we give it the header rect. That's why I will hate working with the absolute layout. Hey Dylan Bot. How you doing? Have I mentioned that I love how I can watch your stream on a mobile device and still read the code? Well, Dylan, that's the benefit of my eyes being really bad. You see, because I have to, like, you know, look at my text like this. But yeah, good. I'm pleased you like that. Now, why is this doing this? Why is that going up to 0, 0? I don't get it. Works for you? I just don't get it. All right, there's one way we could fix this really easy. But I want to see what's happening. Let's see where this actual thing is.
Sometimes things don't work.
Whoops. All right, no idea what that was about. There's our label, sitting at 0, 0 for some reason. Still sitting at 0, 0. Under medium, it goes to the right place. Large, it goes to the right place. Start, it goes to the right place. Entrance, it's in the right place. Small, not the right place. Yeah, it's weird. Look, I'm pretty sure it's, it's just got something to do with absolute layout being crazy. Head erect. Is it possible that it's a race condition? And no, not really. It doesn't know about how high it is. Let's have a look here. Let's put a breakpoint here. This is the fun part of coding. Actually, this is the rubbish part of coding, but this is the reality of coding UI. So a head erect has a value. It has an X of 20, a Y of 373, a width and a height. Beautiful. And that's what we're setting here, which is cool. Lachlan, you've been fighting. So this is the other part of developer life, right? Where is it? Been fighting a bug for hours and just fixed it with a task delay. Yeah, that's also reality, but mostly that probably means you're doing bad things, right? It's scary, exactly. You just know you're going to ignore that and you go, oh yeah, that's fine, it works, and then somewhere it's going to bite you in the bum. So I don't get why that gets set to there. Ship it. So this is what we should have, right? We should have a little clippy that's available in Visual Studio that just says, have you tried a task delay of 10? All right. I'm gonna try something else. Why would that work? I got no reason to believe that that would make any difference. The vertical options, get rid of those. If this doesn't work, I'm going to just do something much simpler. It's nice we have a nice supportive community, Dylan. Wow. Okay. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to fix this problem, right? I'm going to stop playing around with these layout bounds. And I'm just going to set the translation of it. How about that? How about that? So basically what I'll do is I'll say, okay, well, the header pos is going to be the translation. So this is now going to be header translation. And that is going to equal in fact, it's just going to be that one there, I think. Let's see if this works. So we're just going to basically say this guy here has a translation of 0. So that's going to be basically where it needs to be. And then this one's going to have a translation of 0 as well. So actually, that's not true. The translation of those is going to be this. God. This is like my first time coding. Hey, Dan Siegel, how you doing? Dylan Bot's been busted. Not working on a pull request. Hilarious. Doing well. Was it a margarita pizza? Margarita pizza is my my favorite kind of pizza. Italian meats, beautiful. Let's see what we get here. I feel this could be a red hot mess. Okay, the offset's wrong, but the position's kind of right. Yeah, okay. That's pretty much it, right? It flies up. What's Power Apps like, Dylanbot? Top minus the height of that. Minus the height of that. Of course, minus its actual starting position. Good for prototyping business apps. Okay.
Sometimes things don't work.
Think of it a bit like Access. And what's it for building? Is it for building like web apps? Right, web apps are the end product. Need a margin in there. Kind of. All right, cool. That's basically right. Pizza margarita, yada, yada, yada. There we are. Okay, so we need to add a margin in there. So we'll put like 20, because otherwise I've actually just aligned it with there. Beautiful. All right, so when that happens there, this is where things get interesting now, right? Yeah, so Dylanbot licensing is a bit dodgy, but Microsoft has to pay the bills. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Microsoft paying the bills because they pay my bills. Okay, I need to just put in a minus margin in there. I'll just fix that while I'm here. Comment of the day. You were waiting for me to say that. What was I doing? Blah, 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 plus the margin, right? Which I'm just going to ram in as 20 because I'm sick of playing with this now. Okay, cool. So let's have a look at this then, hey? So if we wait for this to go back to its starting point, we pretty much got that. We could add some lines in there, sure, whatever. Okay, so then we go to small. So small has a different button. It also has this quantity and this stuff in here. And a basil leaf, a nice little basil leaf over there. All right. So why don't we tackle that next? When we go add to cart, we'll have some different states there. All right. But I've got to go for a little bit of a toilet break. And as well as that, you should have a stretch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a break screen. And I'm going to put a timer on for like 5 minutes. Have a 5-minute break. Hopefully you stay around. All right, so talk amongst yourselves. I'll see you in 5. And just remember, if you leave, you get banned. All right, and we're back. So Dan, streaming with Jerome in the morning and some source code generation stuff. Ooh. Yeah, I saw that, Dylan Bot. I saw that. That was amazing. That guy's a pilot too, right? Seriously awesome. Exactly. All right. What are we doing now? We want to go to a state here. When we go to our small, we want to put a control in here. All right. So let's do that control. So what we're trying to achieve here is this little thing here, quantity, and this value in here. And then we'll write ourselves a control to do this little flippy thing. All right. So let's do this first of all. Let's actually get our main page. Let's run it, and let's add an element in. This is going to break this, but I'm going to make this invisible for a moment. It's going to break that layout, but that's cool. And what we'll do is we'll add ourselves a grid down the bottom here. So basically what I want to do here is add a grid down here that's going to have basically the quantity in here, and then it's going to have a little control here with a plus and a minus button. I'm really bad at drawing. So that's what we want, and that should be displayed when it's in a small, large, or medium. Okay, so we'll make this vertical options of end, I suppose. We'll give this some column definitions. And for the moment, let's just make this a couple of stars. And then we'll put in a label. With a style of description text and some text equal to quantity. All right, and then what we'll do in here is we'll add in a frame. We'll say this is a fill. We'll say we want a border color. I'll just put some values in here at the moment. We'll put in a height request of 30, have a corner radius. Of 15. Shadow of false. Oops, that's going to be in the wrong space. And that's going to want to go into grid column 1. going to have a background color of transparent. And a vertical options of center. All right, that's not what we're after at all. I bet you it's got to do with that bloody padding. There we go. All right, that's better. Now, what would happen if inside of this frame we put a couple of buttons? So Dan mentions it's so funny watching this, remembering it wasn't that long ago. We'd stop the app, make the changes, rebuild, get back to the page we work on. Oops, more changes. Exactly. So it's so nice having hot reload. Really nice. So here's another little question here. Are the properties sorting themselves automatically? Okay, they're not. Well, they are, because I'm using a plugin to do it. So basically, in my extensions, I use a little extension called XAML Styler. And so with XAML Styler, I can, so somewhere in my options, XAML Styler has a bunch of settings where I can basically say, set my indentation. Somewhere in here it says sorting them, element reordering, somewhere in here anyway. I can't see it right at the moment. So basically, whenever I save, it's there, automatic attribute reordering. Yeah, so I really like that because I can set it like this, right? So it'll do cool things like if I have a button with a text equals, well, this is going to be my minus button. It's going to look terrible, of course, right? So I've got a button there with the text of that. And if I had multiple properties, I can set it to do something like this. I can say, hey, if I've got, say, 2 properties, it's going to keep it all on one line. But as soon as I start having 3 properties, it's going to space them down, which is really nice. Okay, so for our button, this is our minus button. So we want this to have like a padding of 0. We want this to have a background color of transparent. We want it to have a text color of description text. Zoics. Description text. Can I not spell? Can't spell static resource. That's my problem. Yeah, no, I don't have builds that fail, Dan. Yeah, of course I do. Where's my... let's give this a border color. Where's my button? Do, do, do. Okay, so there's my button over there. I actually don't want that. What I want is vertical options as center, horizontal. I want to make this an explicit size. So let's say if I make this like 30 and I give it a height request of 30. Yeah, and then I give it a corner radius 15. There we are. Now we've got a little button here. Now I think I want this to be a bit bigger actually. So just looking at the design, it's actually a lot bigger than that. So let me change that a bit. So we'll make this, it's probably like 50 and 25. Oops, my phone's gone to sleep. All right, and then we'll make this one, say, a height of 40, a corner radius of 20. Let's see what we get there. Nice. It's actually a bit smaller than that, so let's make it 30. 15. And let's give it a margin to the left of 10. There we are. That's about right. Beautiful. Okay, so there's our negative button. And then on the other side, in fact, why don't I grab a whole bunch of this stuff? Extract as XAML style. Okay, so this is a mfractor feature. So let's call this.
Today we're gonna code lots.
Hey, John TV. Welcome.
Oh, how amazing you'll be.
We're just sort of just tinkering around with some UI at the moment. All right, let's call this quantity button. We'll take the background, we'll take the border color, the corner radius, the horizontal options we won't use. The margin we won't use. The text color we'll use, the vertical options. Get rid of those two for the moment. And target type is a button. We'll put it into our main page styles. Let's see what happens. All right, so that should have created me a style up here. All things going well. Quantity button, beautiful. And now we'll add another quantity button in for the plus. And this one, oh. That's interesting. We can't have two elements inside of a frame. All right, so let's not do that then. Let's do this. Let's instead go like that. And then we'll put this in grid row. So grid column 1. All right. And then we'll put this one in grid column 1 as well, but this time we'll say that goes to the end, and we want our margins to be 0 to the left, 0 to the top, 10 to the right, and add a plus sign in. And then we'll come up to our style, get rid of that horrible background color. Actually, before I have to set a background color to transparent. And we're probably going to need to have a border width value of 1. Okay, that didn't work at all. Why not? What's our color here? Oh, description text is a style. It's not a color. Okay. Okay, it still hasn't fixed our problem though. Let me just position this up here somewhere. Okay, pure text color is white, so we have a border. Don't know why we're not getting borders there. All right, so we're going to have buttons there. So that should be cool. Why doesn't that work? Okay, that should be right. In fact, that The text color isn't even coming in. So that's interesting. The order there matters. The fact that I didn't have that color set beforehand. So that would be why. Okay, cool. So now we've got our buttons. Now, what we want to do as well is we want to probably create ourselves a style. Or actually, let's not bother with a style for the moment. I want to make this quantity a little bit bigger. It's probably a bit hard for you to see, actually. And I'm going to add a bit more column spacing in here. So there we are. Let's have a look at what we've got now. So there we are. We've got a quantity there with our two buttons. They're probably a little bit big. They could probably do with some different icons as well, but they're basically there. So here's a question from Dan. This is a good question. The question is, at what point do you just break out a page's styles into a separate file to keep the page easier to go through? Probably, like if I'm developing an application with, okay, I suppose for a real application, probably almost immediately, right? But there's a cost associated with styles in app.xaml, right? So basically, when it's trying to resolve a style or any static resource, it's basically going to do this, right? It's gonna start out here, so it's going to get this style and it's going to say, hey, is this style sort of defined in this label? If not, it's going to go, hey, let's go up the page. So it's going to go and look up the page and it's going to try and find a page style. If it can't find the style on the page, so it can basically look up through its children actually. So technically what it would do is it's got this here, right? And it would say, hey, I'm looking for this style. Is it defined in this label? No. Is it defined up in this grid? No. Is it defined in the absolute layout? No. Is it on the page? No. Is it up in the app XAML? Right. So basically the closer you define it to where you use it, the more efficient it is technically. But in reality, like all of these styles, I would probably end up at the application level, but then do a merged dictionary on it and actually create the style resources. So let me see if I can find an example here of where I would do it. Yeah, so merged dictionaries. God, let's have a look at repositories. I think in this one here, I have styles sort of set up this way. Yeah, so So here I would have like literal resources, style resources. I'd probably also have font resources as well. And then merge those puppies into my app XAML. So in this case, I'm actually playing. Oh, this is stuff I was playing around with different theming, right? And so then I'd have a light theme, and then the light theme, I think you'll find in this case, will basically bring in those things as merged dictionaries. So look, I think I don't know. I think for most applications, I would use merged dictionaries, and I'd have ones for colors, styles, literal resources. So literal resources in my case are things like paddings, and in this case I put colors, but I'd actually put colors in probably a different file as well. So I don't know. It depends on the complexity of your application, I think. Because I don't build a lot of big applications really when it comes down to it, because I'm just tinkering because it's not my job anymore. I would split them out into different files pretty quick, because it makes it a lot easier to find them. Because otherwise, you do what I have, and you got this page, and this I guess this is what you're talking about. Is that I've got this page, and a good chunk of this page is just styles. But this is a one-page application. Anyway, I don't know. Hopefully that helps, Dan. So Lachlan says, so you can put styles in the page or in the app XAML, put them in external files per page. Yeah, I haven't done that. Merge dictionaries. Yeah. And that's exactly right, Dragon. So putting in the app XAML, if you're going to reuse them across pages. Yeah, I agree. Is there a way? Does Mfractor have a way of moving this to app XAML? I wonder. There we are. Look, there we are. Move resource to app XAML. Yeah, and look, I rarely have pages on styles on a page. Okay, so what do we have now? We've got, it's a really, really good question. So do you know what I want to do? And anyone wants to join me on doing this as well. I want to create a Visual Studio plugin, which is just like your theme setting, right? So it'd be an extension, and you'd say, create a theme, right? And it would pop a dialog, and it would basically say, okay, tell me what your accent color. So, because for most things, you're going to have like, accent colors, background colors. You might have some values for padding and things like that. And you can basically just input those in, and then it just basically comes over here, and even themes, right? And basically just creates you a folder here for all your resources and separates them all out, and then adds them into your solution, because it's something you do in every solution. It's a pain in the bum. I don't know. Hopefully that makes sense. And one day I'll get around to doing it. I told Matt he should include it into Mfractor, but I'm sure he's got lots of other things to do. But I've never written Visual Studio plugins. I mean, you could just write it as a command line, right? You could just write it as a, make me resources. And it just spits out files. Dan says, I've long said there should be a dialog in the project wizard that lets you choose some colors and help you set up some basic styles. Yeah, help you pick the right colors for light and dark theme. Totally. So yeah, that would be something that would be really, really good to do. And it will also bring in fonts as well. You know, like the whole carry on you got to do with fonts as well. Just drop some fonts onto it. That'd be cool. And it could even provide you with, you know, a styles page as well. Could create you a styles page, which is, you know, splats out all the different styles. So I can give you a little style guide as well. Anyway, it's good to dream. Okay, so what was I going to do? I was going to now make it so that when the user goes into the different sizes of pizza, it would display this. So let's call this quantity select. And we'll go back in. Feature creep. So let's say this. When we're in the start. Oops. What did I call that? I just didn't save the file. That's the problem. So our quantity select, opacity is 0. And when we're in small, it has an opacity of 1. When we're in medium, has an opacity of 1. And when we're in large, it has an opacity of 1. And if I've got a comma up here somewhere. All right. Let's see if that works. There we are. Cool. So we have our 3 sizes. Boom, boom, boom. Oh. Of course, that's going to overlap. For the moment, let's just give this a little less margin. So Dragon says that code should be refactored into a method. So I assume you're talking about this horrible chunk here. Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure you can do much about this. I mean, these all have to be in there, but they could probably not just be in the size changed event handler. I agree. All right. Could be parameterized. I need to do something about that spacing. But anyway. All right. Just for giggles, why don't we try doing the control here? So the control here, let's talk about what the control here does. The control here is you've got a quantity, you hit the button, and it does this little rotation up. So Dragon says, I'm interested to see how those numbers are going to work. Yeah, me too. This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that if you have a bit of text here that's like 1, when we create a control, when the text changes, it basically has another, so it animates that up, it grabs another label, which is 2, and animates that up, right? And it changes the opacity of that out, the opacity of this in, and the translations. And basically when this comes up, when this comes up here, it basically grabs that and then reuses it for the next one that's coming in, if you know what I mean. So you're kind of got 2 labels and they just sort of move positions. Maybe. So let's just do that for giggles. Let's try it. First, what we'll do, you could use a carousel view. It feels a bit heavy though. Let's see how we go with a couple of labels, and we'll take it from there. All right, let's do this as a starting point. Let's say, I think carousel views can be vertical. I'm pretty sure they can be vertical. That wants to be grid dot column. Vertical carousel is called a Ferris wheel. I love it. Was that our family? Let's have a look at our font family. Semi-bold. Doesn't seem very semi-bold. I suppose it is. All right, there we are. We've got our number. Beautiful. So let's make that a control. Carousel can be vertical. How did we create a control from this before? Did I select all the controls XAML? Let's have a look. How did we do this before, Lachlan? God. It's like I've never used mfractor. It only does it for layouts, does it? Okay. Hey, take care, Dan. See you later. Wrap it in a grid. Well, actually, I probably want to wrap it in a grid anyway, to tell you the truth. So let's do that. Let's wrap it in a grid. Whoop. See you later, Dylan. Yeah, there we go. Extract into a XAML control. So let's call this thing the... I want to call it the Ferris label now. Let's call it the Ferris label. All right. Okay, so it's going to have a text property. All right, cool. Now, what we're going to want is we're going to want to have two labels inside of here. And that's going to fail because of that there. So let's just make this white to start off with. And then we'll add those styles in. All right. So if I've got two labels. All right. Something like that, right? And we'll give these a name. So one of them is like, I don't know, the current label. And one of these is like the next label. Right. And we'll set this one's opacity to 0. So it's hidden to start off with. And then what we could do is perhaps when the text changes, let's just see if it works first, actually, before we we get too carried away.
Sometimes things don't work.
Mfractor bug. It added controls twice. Oh, it's not applying the the text. Okay, that makes sense. So, it should have a text in there. Let's just try that again. I just want to be able to make sure that it's visualized first of all. So we'll let's give this a background color. All right, it's in the wrong spot for a start. Okay, so it needs to be in grid column 1. We want to make it, we should set the vertical options center here and the horizontal options. Beautiful. All right. So we got that. Now what we want it to do is we want it to take the value when it applies the value, it's going to say, go and get our let's try this. So our current label. Okay, so we're going to, let's do this. Current equals current label. Next equals next label. All right. Now, when we apply the text, we want to update the labels. We want to set the starting positions. We want to animate out the current label. We want to animate in the next label. And then recycle the views, if you like. Okay, so let's do this. So we'll say our current text is going to be equal to the value. It's going to have a translation Y of 0. It's going to have an opacity of 1. And then we're going to translate this on the x-axis 0, on the Y will say, I don't know, minus 20, for example. We'll add bindable properties in for these later on. Okay. We also want to fade the current label to 0. Well, that's actually... So we set the starting position, we animate out the current label. So here, well, let's have our double distance equals 20. So this will go minus distance. And here we will want to set the next dot translation y to be equal to distance. We want to then set its opacity to 0. We then want to translate this to 0. So bring it up into its resting place. We also want to fade it in. If that makes sense. And then what we want to do is we want to change the order of these. So the next one becomes the current one becomes the next one. What's going on here? These read only? Oh, they need a setter as well. Okay. And this doesn't want to equal... Does the animation assume... Well, we should be able to control that, but the actual animation itself... They always go up, I think. Let's have a look. Come on. Yep, so that one goes up. Now what I'm wondering, this will kind of work, I reckon. Maybe. I probably have to await this here somewhere. Because we want that to all await. Let's see if this kind of works. think. Yeah, so it makes sense that they might roll down. Yeah, I agree. Well, let's do this. Yeah. Yep, I agree, Dragon. I think that could be achieved by passing a direction to the apply text label, or even just a property on our Ferris label. And it depends. So where we're going to use this is we're going to use it like here. And so, yeah, it makes sense that if you go up, it goes that way. If you go down, it goes that way. But also this one here changes as well. So we're going to reuse it in a few different places. And so it's not really just a counter. So let's do this. Let's go. Let's just be really cheeky here and just say the name of this is our decrease button. Decrease button and increase button. Let's add a click event to it. Let's just do this for the moment. Let's just say we have an int, which is yep. Let's just do this for start. So we'll say current quantity, subtract that puppy. And then our quantity label dot text equals toString, right? Just to see if it's working. All right. You could actually make it go different directions as well. You can make it go left and right if you want. Now we have to break this to get it into a state. Okay. Oh. Like the numbers are wrong. But it's kind of working. All right, so we need to update. We need to know the two different okay, wait, were you calling apply text? All I see is the label text being updated. No, that's because the bindable property, right? I didn't update all the text is true. So I updated in the control. I updated the text here. I didn't update the text for the next label, which I probably need to do. And you know what I'm going to have to do here? I'm going to say, this actually wants to be the current one wants to be the old value. Can I do this? So when the text changes, it calls apply. How about I do this? Pass in the old and the new value. Something, something. Does that work? This feels a little bit messy. And let's just do it that way. So value. Okay, wait on. So, well, the new value is value. The old value, we just cast that to a string. So Dragon, I could just not update the current, but the problem is that they cycle between the two labels. Don't they? So I think what I want to do is I want to say, okay, well, the current one has the old value. And the new one has the new value. Hey, Lachlan, take care, buddy. Good to see you. Enjoy your pizza. I will. Thank you. How's that? Of course. All right, well, let's pass the direction in. Let's do that. So given that this can be just some text, right? So it doesn't really matter what it is. Like I could put bananas in there, right? So I think we can't derive the direction from the content of this unless we assume that this is just a numeric stepper. But I'm not going to do that. So why don't we do this? In fact, you know what we could do? Let's do this. If I come in here and I say, why don't we just do, is it bad to do this? Animate up equals true. Is that bad? Do a direction property. So what would direction take? Direction Y? Up, down, left, right. What about if it took a... Okay. So is this going to work? Let's say we said direction. Right. Okay. So where do we have our direction? Animate up. So, okay. Well, we'll kill that in a second. So we'll say direction is up. So you've got a link there for gestures swipe. For some reason, Docs isn't opening for me. Okay, I believe you. So I guess that's going to be an enum then, right? Right? Is that an enum? We could do it that way. Up, down, left, right. Let's see what happens here. So then we have a bindable property of type direction, which is a type of direction enum. Direction returns a direction enum. They're going to work. I have no idea if that's going to work. All right. You don't think it needs to be a bindable property? You think it just needs to be a property? Yeah, I think you're right, actually. I think you're right. It doesn't need to be bindable. So can we just do it this way then? Like that. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Let's get rid of all this stuff then. So does that mean we can then... Does that work? Let's put some proper capitalization. What is going on? It's a direction. Yeah. So now I would basically do this, right? So I would say quantity label dot direction equals yep. I think I need to make that a public direction. It is public. Oh, I need to make that enum public. Public enum. Oh, it is direct. We'll make this better. fact, what we will do, now here's the question, is in this label, when the text changes, we should just get the direction here, right? So we need to do something like this. We need to say if just gonna write some really bad code here. What am I doing? Yeah, I need a distance X and a distance Y. That's right. Oh, well, why don't we do that? In fact, if you had a distance X and a distance Y, couldn't you just, that would also control whether it's up or down. So you could say if the distance Y was 20, then it's going to go down 20. If the distance Y was minus 20, it would go minus 20. Or do you prefer to have a explicit? Let's see if this works, first of all. Phone went to sleep. Wow. 2, 3, 4, 3. What? Direction up. That's right. Why is that doing that? Yeah, I'd say the swap logic has a bug. That seems to be fine though, going that way. That's fine. And then it goes back up. That's weird. I bet you it's this. I think this distance. I think it's because of this negation here. What's a better way of doing this? What about if we just made distance a property? Like this. So we get rid of direction. We'll call it animation offset. Let's try this. Let's try this. We'll get rid of this. In fact, what happens if we made this even something like this? If we said this was like a point, so it would have an X and Y value, right? And then here, what we could do is we could do something like, translate this Y0 quantum label. I love it. Quantum Ferris label. X dot Y. So we can do it in X and Y directions. And then we now have to say because this is where it's coming from. So now we have to say dot X dot X. So this is scope creep in action while we're trying to fix it. What could go wrong? This one wants to animate to 0, 0. So if we do that, and here we now said quantity label dot quantity label dot animation offset equals new point. Let's make it go 20. It actually probably wants to be minus 20. Decrease, it wants to go down. So no, it wants to be 20. And then this one we said minus 20.
Sometimes things don't work.
Oh. Oh, what happened to my Visual Studio? So, aren't there any storyboard NuGets out there that can let you do this in XAML yet? You know, I could probably probably use my own storyboard thing to do it. That's a good question. All right, what's going to happen here? It's going the wrong direction. You're spoiled by WPF, yeah. Animations in XAML aren't really a thing, unfortunately. Hey, that works well. What do you reckon? I think that works well. It's like, I'll make you a pizza. Zooks. And so now what we could theoretically do, right, is with this control, if we wanted to go diagonal, I don't know why you'd want that. Yeah, that's right. You ship us a pizza, we'll give you money. So this should do it diagonally now. Because that's totally what you want. Yeah, that's like the most useless setting ever. But interesting. Thanks, Rod. Only I'd do that. I agree. Nom. Nom. All right. I think we'll get rid of that. Was it in the right order? Hang on. I think it was in the wrong direction, by the way. So let me change. I'll tell you one reason we might want to make it bindable properties. Actually, here's a question for you. If we come in here and we say, what do we call it? Animation offset. Do points, is there a converter for points? If I said 2020, I think there is a converter for points. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I think what we want is we want 0 minus 20 and then 0 plus 20. Yeah, I think there is a converter.
Sometimes things don't work.
It's kind of weird. My Visual Studios are bugging out occasionally. Yeah, I think that's right. It goes up when you're increasing the quantity. It goes down when you're decreasing. Okay, cool. That looks good. What I need to do is I need to pass it a style because this style that's here is not right. So let's do it like we did the other one. Let's just ram a style in and see what happens. Let's see what happens. So I'll stick a style in there. Doesn't matter what it is. And let's just grab one. for a label, perhaps. Ferris label, yeah, is not actually typed label, so it's really badly named. Hey, MJ Freelancing. Have a good weekend yourself. It's actually a grid. Thanks for stopping by. What do you think? Because that's a grid, so it has a style. Is that bad? Text style. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. You can't stop me. Well, this one will target label because I can't set the style of the whole thing because that won't make sense. But if I do this and I say this is a style and this is a style and this is a style and this is a style, did we decide that couldn't be that? I don't know. Yeah, it can't be. It has to be an object, doesn't it? We decided that. But this can be a style. Yeah, I can cast it as a style. And then I can just basically say current label dot style equals value. And they want to be the same anyway, I think. Something like that, maybe. Let's see if that gets the right style. That doesn't seem to have worked, does it? Nope. So price text should be, okay. So that's the Xamarin.Forms style. I think I know why. I think it's because their style wasn't setting up enough stuff, right? So if we went back here and we said blah, blah, blah. Let's call this quantity style. Hey, Rod. Got to go. Take care. I'm going to have to go as well in a moment, but thanks for stopping by. And XAML Styler, yeah, it's available on the Mac. Oh, do you want to know another cool thing about XAML Styler? Rod, this will be useful for you in your projects if you're still here. You know how you can have like an editor.config so that everyone uses the same code editor settings? XAML Styler has the same thing. Sorry, not available. So you can actually set a file in your project to say, these are the XAML stylers for that. And it's available for Writer. There you go. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to do this. Quantity style. Yeah. Okay, so cool. Well, that's good to know. So Dragon, I created a segmented control a while back. Couldn't figure out how to get styles to work, so I used nested class and properties at the control level to update the nested class. Yeah. Hi, Nasro. I'm sorry, I'm destroying that, I'm sure. But hi, welcome. I like your work too. All right. Let's do this. Let's say, let's just stick with that for the moment. Oh, you know what? Inside of our label, we're setting all of this other stuff as well. I don't think we want to do that. I think some of that's overriding what we're getting here. I think we want to get rid of that and that and that and that. Because if we got it explicitly set on the control, it's going to override the style, right? Yeah. So it uses the closest thing, which is the thing that's on the control. So let's do this. Let's create our quantity style. Font family. Semi-bold. Font size of 18. This is a terrible way of doing it, but it'll work. Oops. He says it doesn't work.
And you fail.
All right, I think that's it. So quantity style. So if we come down here, we set the quantity style. Everything's going to be amazing. So not true. Oh yeah, that's it. It's taken the style. Because if I change that to, let's see if let's hear how well this works. If I say quantity style is font size of 24, my hot reload's going to crap itself. But yeah, there we are. That's pretty cool. Free pizzas for everyone. Make me a pizza. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because apart from everything else, um, like ideally, see, like if you actually have a look at the control here, it's got a text of 1. I want to get rid of that. So that wants to bind to a property of a view model. You want one? It's all yours. All right. So I think I'm gonna have to call it. Sue, don't make me a pizza. That looks ridiculous now. That doesn't have 1 in there. But we could say, hey, I've got. Give me one of those medium pizzas. Give me 5 of those medium pizzas and 5 large pizzas. Yeah, kinda. All right, so we still got some stuff to fix up on this. I think I'm gonna have to get going. But it's been fun. We played around. We created some controls. That was good. We've kind of got some stuff working here. Look, the difference here as well, by the way, actually, is if we look at what it does here, it actually, when you press this button, is when it grabs hold of the pizza and pushes it down there. And then it updates this value as well. So we'll have to rejig that a little bit next time. Maybe I'll stick a view model behind it as well. That'd be a good idea. But it's kind of getting there, right? Size rule and extreme. Yeah, you know how the size rule is going to work? It's going to be, do you remember, I don't even know if I've got it on here. What was it called? What was the project called? Day versus night. Remember we did... No, I don't even know it's on my phone. Whatever it is, it's not working. The way we'll do it is like this. Yeah,
It literally smells like burnt chocolate and failure.
If you remember here in day versus night, like here, we did little ruler marks. That was in skier sharp. So probably just do the same thing, I'm guessing. Anyway, I think I'm gonna have to call it and say bye for now. My intention still is to work on the weekly Xamarin application. I'm going to do that with Shell Dragon if you're interested. Just so I can get it going, so maybe some people can contribute to it. I don't know, Dragon, maybe you could build it out on a stream if you wanted to do that. But get the basic project going and work from there. But it'll probably be a night stream for me, which I don't know what time that's going to be for other people. But anyway, I'll have a look at it anyway. All right. So I don't know if there's anyone else streaming. I don't know what day. Wednesdays probably work for me. Wednesday nights. So Wednesday night, Australian Eastern Standard Time, probably about 9 p.m. I'll let you know. I'll contact you and let you know when that is. Ah, fantastic. Ah, cool. Golden Escher Spock. Fantastic. All right. Well, we'll get that going. Beautiful. All right. Is there anyone else around to stream, to raid? I'm like the worst raider in the world. So let me just go to my ending screen here. Let's see if this works. And then let me do this. And let's put some credits out there. Yeah, thanks, Fiakuma123. No worries. Thanks for the follows. So a few follows today. Appreciate that. Good Night Dragon. Thanks, Nazro. You should phonetically tell me how to say some of these because I'm terrible at it. All right. Now, what I was going to do is going to have a look and see if there was anyone streaming. See if we can raid. No worries. From Brazil? Fantastic. All right, let's raid Dr. Mikachu, shall we? So Dr. Mikachu's got a game launch party. That sounds pretty fun. So let me see if we can set this up. And say hi. Your name is in Arabic. Okay. Nazra Nastro? Maybe. Anyway, take care, everyone. I'll see you next time. Say hi to Dr. Pikachu. And see you next week. Nazaro, beautiful. All right, bye, yeah.